Now, one of my favorite experiments is with carbide or sodium carbide. And this is a great way to demonstrate how faith works in our life. Now, this could be used for other things as well, but this is the one key thing I use for teaching about faith. Now, with faith, we talk about, okay, it seems like the impossible. Like, for example, Abraham was promised, to be the father of many nations, but he didn't even have any kids. And it seemed like an impossible thing, especially with how old he was. So it seems like it would be impossible to light ice with, you have your lighter, right? And you're trying to light ice, and it seems like the impossible thing to do. So when I demonstrate this, I definitely have my bowl of ice, and I try to do the impossible thing that God has called me to do. And really emphasize, it'd be like trying to light ice on fire. It seems really impossible. But here's the key thing to this experiment. You have to add God into the mix. Now, I don't usually have it in a jar just like this. I just usually put it into a small little bowl or something like that the day of the experiment. If you do prep this ahead of time, please leave it, the chemicals in the actual jar or can. Because if you leave it out, it will go to powder and it won't work. So this is just carbide. It was actually used for lighting lamps when people went back down into mines. And all you need to do is just to add a little bit. I'm talking maybe a spoonful to your ice in order for this to work. So again, when you do this experiment, you want to have everything prepped. You want to lead into your message about talking about how maybe faith seems like the impossible thing to do, but then when God comes into your life and you have faith in Him and believe in Him and speak those things over your life, that's like adding God into the mix, and then you can do the impossible. So I'm going to show you what will happen, and I will do this very quickly. So I'm going to talk about it first and then do it. So we have our ice in the bowl, and when you add the little rocks that are in the tin container to the bowl, it will start to smoke. So as soon as it starts to smoke, you definitely want to light it on fire, because the more smoke you have, the bigger the fire will be. And we just want this to be in a small contained fire. I also use a plexiglass bowl just so that you can see the actual fire. So it's not going to be above and really huge. It may flash it initially, but then it'll simmer and kind of fire. But you want the kids to be able to see through the container. So definitely use a Pyrex bowl. A solid glass container is best for this. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Again, I would make sure that you are a little bit of a distance from your ice, but I'm going to put in a little bit. Again, you can touch this, but again, remember this is a toxic substance, so you don't want to touch your face or lick your fingers after this. So I'd recommend not touching this, to use either just shake it in or to use a spoon. All right, so I just started. It started to foam up, and there you go. So again, that is a bit of a wow factor. You definitely want to make sure that the kids are far enough away where they are not going to get hurt, but then also to make sure that you yourself won't get burnt. Again, it's a flash of fire. It's not that the whole time. And this will quickly die down just because the water in there is also counteracting the fire in there. But again, a very good demonstration on how to do the impossible with God and talking about faith.